All right. So the focus of this lesson is credit cards and understanding how your monthly payment is determined. So example 1, credit card companies issue a monthly statement, therefore APR, annual percentage rate, must be converted to a monthly periodic rate. If the APR is 21.6%, what would your monthly finance charge be? So a couple of things I want you to note here is the word periodic. Periodic means to happen at regular intervals, so every month, right? So right now, when we look at the annual percentage rate, we have the percent you pay for the whole year, right? And that's this 21.6%. But because you are making monthly payments, you will be getting a finance charge that is based on a monthly rate and not an annual rate. So what we're going to want to do is take the annual rate, right, which is 21.6%, and divide it by the 12 months in the year. Okay, now when we do that, we have 21.6 divided by 12 months. We can see that our monthly rate is only a 1.8%. Now it's your turn to try. If a monthly statement shows a monthly interest rate of X percent, express the annual percentage rate algebraically. Pause the video and give it a try. Example 2. Rebecca did not pay last month's credit card bill in full. Below is a list of Rebecca's daily balances for her last billing cycle. For 7 days, she owed $456.11. For 3 days, she owed $1,177.60. For 6 days, she owed $990.08. For 9 days, she owed $2,115.15. And for 5 days, she owed $2,309.13. So what I want you to recognize, because this might be a little confusing initially, picture a calendar, right? So we have this calendar, and I'm not going to put all the days, but let's pretend there's 7 days across. So for 7 days, she had this 456 balance, right? 456, 456, 456, 456, 456, 456, and so on, right? Then she made another purchase. And so for the next, 3 days, her balance was $1,177.60, right? $1,177.60, and so on. And her balance changes as we go throughout the month. And so there's a set number of days where she holds this specific balance. Now, the question they want us to answer here is, what is her average daily balance? Because when determining how much interest you pay, how much your finance charges, it is based off of your average daily balance. Now, we know mathematically speaking, we find averages by adding up all of the days and then dividing by how many days there are. So in order to do that, we recognize here that there are 7 days at 456.11. So instead of adding 456.11 7 separate times, we're going to do it a little simpler. Let's multiply it. So we have 7 days at 456.11, which gives us 3,648.88. 3 days at 1,177.60, which gives us 3,532.80. 6 days at 990.08. 9 days at 2,115.15, and then 5 days at $2,309.13. Now, these are the sums of those sets of days. Now, ultimately, in order to find the average, we need the sum of all of the days. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these totals and we're going to find the sum of all of the days. Okay, so we're going to add 3,648 and 88 cents with $3,532.80 with $5,940.48 with $19,036.35 with $11,545.65, giving us a grand total of $43,704.16. So we can see then that this is first off not the average. This is just the sum of all the days. If we added the balance in her account, how much money she owed every single day. Now keep in mind, she does not owe $43,000, right? We could see here that the most she ever owed was this $2,309 on any given day. So this is just, we're just using this number to find the average. Now, if we remember, we know that the average is going to be calculated by taking the total divided by how many days. We look over here, we could see that there's 7 plus 3, which is 10, plus 6, which is 16, plus 9, which is 25, plus 5, which is 30. So there are 30 days. So we know that the average daily balance is the sum of all the days divided by the number of days. Now we know the sum of all the days was $43,704.16, and this was borrowed for 30 days, right? We're looking at the monthly average. So we're going to divide. So let's grab our calculator again. So we had 4,3,704.16 divided by 30 days. And we can see, if we look closely, that this is $1,456.81. Okay, so once again, $43,704.16 divided by 30, and we see that it's $1,456.81. Okay, so that's our average daily balance. All right, let's continue. Okay, so now it's your turn to try. Last month, Paul had a daily balance of X dollars for 6 days, Y dollars for 12 days, W dollars for Q days, and D dollars for 2 days. Express the average daily balance algebraically. Now remember, follow the same steps as you did before, but this time use the variables. All right, let's look at another example. Example 3. Rebecca pays a finance charge on her average daily balance of $1,441.60. Her APR is 18%. What is her finance charge for her billing cycle? Okay, now remember, when we look at the finance charge, the APR is going to be based on a monthly, right? So we're going to take that 18% and we're going to start by dividing that by 12. Okay, so we have 18% divided by 12. So we know that she is paying a monthly percentage rate, let's call it MPR, of, what did I just say it was? I think it was 1.5. Let's make sure. 18 divided by 12, yeah, 1.5%. Now, we know we calculate interest using the formula I equals PRT. We know that our principal, or average daily balance here, is $1,441.60. The rate is a 1.5, but remember when we plug in the rate, we're going to plug it in as a decimal, so it's going to be 0.015. And we know that she's borrowing this for 112. All right, I'm going to go back just a little bit because I think I misspoke. So if we remember correctly, this formula here, this actually only takes in annual. So we're actually not going to be using the monthly rate here. So because the I equals PRT is our simple interest formula for the annual rate, in order to show that we're only doing 1/12, right, of the 18%, that's shown up right here. So we don't actually have to plug in the 0.05. It will appear by using this 0.18 times 1/12. Okay, so we now have I equals PRT, and let's use our calculator. So we have 1,000 $441.60 times our 18% annual rate times our 1/12. Times 1 divided by 12. And we can see that the interest she's paying per month will be $21.62. And that will be her finance charge for this particular billing cycle. All right, now your turn to try. So Steve owes a finance charge this month because he didn't pay his bill in full last month. His average daily balance is D dollars, and his APR is P%. Express his finance charge algebraically. Pause the video, give it a try. Okay, now it's your turn to do some practice. Go to textbook page 184 and complete 4 through 8. Submit your work and answers on Canvas for credit.